Chapter 4. Adjective clause and noun clause. Adjective or relative clause. You have already learnt that an adjective phrase is a group of words without a finite verb. It is used with the noun to describe or add to the meaning of the noun in the same way as an adjective does. An adjective clause is a group of words that has a subject and a finite verb, and which, like an adjective or an adjective phrase, tells us something about a noun or pronoun in the sentence. Look at these three sentences below. She looked admiringly at the silver vase. Adjective. She looked admiringly at the vase made of silver. Adjective phrase. She looked admiringly at the vase which was made of silver. Adjective clause. In the first sentence, we have an adjective, in the second sentence, an adjective phrase, and in the third sentence, an adjective clause to qualify the noun vase. Adjective clauses are introduced by who, whom, which, that, or whose. For example, I met a man who had been to Istanbul. We went to a temple that had been built in the Dravidian era. Megha read a novel which was very interesting. Everyone admired the man whose books had inspired us all to work hard. He is the superstar whom everyone wants to see. Since adjective clauses are introduced by relative pronouns doing the work of subordinate conjunctions, they are often called relative clauses. Kinds of adjective clauses. Based on whether the adjective clauses define or do not define the nouns they qualify, they are of two kinds. 1. Defining adjective clause. This kind of adjective or relative clause answers the question which person or which thing, that is, these clauses specify or define the nouns they qualify. They are, therefore, called defining adjective clauses. For example, the bag that I had borrowed from Usha was torn. The girl who joined the school last month won the prize. Here the words in italics tell us which bag and which girl. In other words, they define the nouns they qualify. 2. Non-defining adjective clause. A non-defining adjective clause qualifies the noun that goes before it but does not define it. For example, my father, who is an engineer, went to England last year. Shah Rukh Khan, who is the idol of millions, lives in Mumbai. In these sentences, the adjective clauses give some extra information but are not necessary for the sentences. The sentences will make sense even if the adjective clauses are omitted. Hence, these clauses are known as non-defining adjective clauses and are separated from the rest of the sentence by commas. Remember, there are no commas to separate the defining adjective clauses. Non-defining adjective clauses are separated from the rest of the sentence by commas when who, which, and that are objects of the relative clause. We can leave them out. For example, the items that we bought were all from Big Bazaar. The poems which the children wrote were published in the school magazine. In the above sentences, the relative pronouns that and which are objects of the verb read and wrote, so they can be omitted. Noun clause. Examine the following sentences. He hopes to pass in the entrance exam. He hopes that he will pass the entrance exam. In the first sentence, the group of words in italics form a phrase, as there is no finite verb, and as it does the work of a noun, that is, being the object of the transitive verb hope, it is a noun phrase. In the second sentence, the group of words in italics include a finite verb, and hence it is a clause. Since this clause is the object of the transitive verb hope, it does the work of a noun and is a noun clause. In short, a noun clause is a subordinate clause which does the work of a noun in a sentence. A noun clause works in one of the following ways. 1. As the subject of a verb. Where he went is not known to anyone. What he said was rubbish. 2. As the object of a transitive verb. Mother gave me what I wanted. Ramesh admitted that he had eaten the apples. I don't know what to do. 3. As the object of a preposition. Everything depends on where we are going. You must listen to what elders say. I am not impressed by what he did. 4. As the object of an infinitive. She wants to know why he is going to Pune. He wanted to explain why he was going there. They were surprised to hear that he has gone to Pune. 5. As the complement of a verb of incomplete predication. The fact is that he is not interested in her. My hope is that he will become a good doctor. This is where they will take her. 6. In opposition to a noun, Ravi's belief that father would forgive him gave him peace of mind. The news that he was seriously ill upset me. His statement that Ajit is dishonest surprised everybody. 7. In opposition to the impersonal pronoun it. It is clear that he has taken the booty. It is strange that he has not gone home. 8. As object to a participle. The teacher punished him believing that he had stolen the money. Realizing that he had made a mistake, he asked forgiveness. 9. As a complement to an adjective. I am happy that you could make it finally. She is sad that her mother is not at home. Remember, noun clauses are introduced either by the conjunction that or question words such as what, which, why, how, etc. All clauses formed by converting direct speech into reported or indirect speech are noun clauses. When yes or no questions are put into a noun clause, the clause is introduced by if or whether. For example, he asked whether I would go to Mumbai. Always remember that the noun clause answers the question what.